Alright, good day everyone. So welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is Kasaligan Vlogs. And today we'll talk about patterns in numbers in nature of the world. This is mathematics in the modern world, GAO3. So ladies and gentlemen, have some fun with these patterns and numbers in the nature of the world. So we have here the patterns are regular repeated or recurring forms or designs. So patterns are commonly observed in natural objects such as six-fold symmetry of snowflakes, the hexagonal structure and the formation of honeycombs, the tiger stripes and the hyena spots, and the number of seeds in a sunflower, the spiral of snail shell, and the number of petals of the flowers. Humans hardwired to recognize the patterns by studying them, and we discovered the underlying mathematical principle behind nature's designs. So this time, I'll be presenting to you some of the figures or sample figures talking about patterns. So here are sample figures. The first one is the snowflake, honeycombs, tiger stripe, hyena spot, seed of sunflower, snail shell, and flower petals. If we're going to observe that one at home, we could observe some patterns aside from these sample figures presented here on screen. So try to look at your surroundings and please observe some of the patterns and please jot down that one because I'll be needing that one later or this semester. So just jot down some patterns or figures that comprises of patterns. Alright. So we have here example. Alright, now we have now example number one. Identify the figure that completes the pattern. So we have here the choices 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we're going to illustrate this one, we have here the figure. The better thing that we're going to do, or the best thing that we're going to do, is we are going to eliminate some of the choices here. For example, let us have number 1. But first, we have to observe what's the pattern that completes this figure. If we're going to observe here above, we could say that this pattern or this figure is just a reflection to this figure, right? If we're going to move here, right, this, okay, the reflection of this part is still the same with this. So there is, if we're going to flip that one, so we could have a reflection to this part. And this part, we could assume that the reflection of this part is also like this. First, we're going to look at for the same figure that has the same way with this. Okay, so let's have first number 1. Would it constitutes? Alright, so we have here, yes, it could be. How about number 2? We have no, because if we're going to look at here, so it is part this section, this part is in the middle part of the figure. So we have to eliminate this number 2. Okay, so let us first the third one. In this third one, could we eliminate the third one? Yes, because if we're going to look at again here, it seems that this is halfway to this figure. Alright, so we have to eliminate this part. So the remaining part here is 1 and 2. So we have to be observant or we have to be keen about the figure. So first, and the second move is that we have to reflect here since this is just a reflection like this. Okay, so reflection like this. Okay, so we can move like this also and like this. So take note, this placed here in somewhat part or in the middle part of the figure or this side. Okay, okay. So if we're going to look at here, so which patterns or which figure would clearly completes the pattern? So if we're going to have this one here, okay, let's have it. Okay. If we're going to look at here, this is just also, if we're going to flip this one here, this is just a reflection to this part. Okay, reflection to this part, flip to this part, and flip to this part. So it is flipping to each other. So if we're going to look at here, could we eliminate this part? Try to look at the figure has somewhat like a shape, or there is a shape. This the shape goes like this, okay, like this and like this. So if we're going to observe, the figure has a white shape bigger than this one. If we're going to complete this number 4, we could say that number 4 should complete the pattern. Why? Because it has a greater or bigger spot, or somewhat like a bigger white part compared to number 1. Okay, so the shape would complete is number 4 and not number 1. Okay, so therefore, the figure that completes the figure is number 4. Okay, so let's have first, next, number 2. Identify the figure that completes the pattern. So first, this is very easy because if you're just a keen or observant about the figure, so we could say that there is a hole here. Okay, this part and this part. Try to look at what figure that would complete. So first, eliminate this one because we could not reflect here some hole here, this one, and could be, and this one could not be. So therefore, the best I figure that completes the pattern is number 3. So this is easy one because just like here, by just looking at here figure, we could deduce that the figure has a hole, a little hole. All right, so that's number 2. In number 3, choose the image that completes the pattern. In this case, this is all about imagination. Okay, first, if we're going to imagine this part, it talks about dots, white and black. If the dots here in the first figure, if we're going to uh, analyze this part, the dot is moving in a counterclockwise direction. Alright, because 1 dot here, and in second figure, the dot is being added in a counterclockwise direction. If we're going to move, if we're going to reflect about the white dot, we could say that the dot is moving in a clockwise direction. Dot here, dot, and dot. So what image that completes the pattern? This question mark. The question is what image here? So first, the dot is in counter clockwise direction. Okay, clockwise. So therefore, this is number 3. So therefore, we could assume that there are 4 white dots here. And the fourth dot should be placed in this section. So therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to choose the dots which complete here. So white, 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 and white. Okay, this is correct. This is not correct. And this is not correct also because it should have 4. And this is not correct. And this is not correct. How about in the black dots? In the black dots, we have 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So therefore, the black dot should be placed here. So check. So therefore, this shape would have to complete the pattern. Okay, that's it. It talks about black and white dots. So again, the black dots is in counterclockwise direction. and the white dots are in clockwise direction. Once again, the black dots are in counterclockwise direction, adding in counterclockwise direction, and the white dots is adding in a clockwise direction. So same as the clockwise direction. Okay, so let's have example number 4. Choose the image that completes the pattern. Okay, if we're going to observe this one, this is just uplifting, or the image is reflection of the second image. If this is the first image, so therefore this is the reflection, or if we're going to flip that one, so this is the image. This is the original and this is the image. So therefore this is the original and this is the image. So therefore this is the original and what would be the image? Okay, so like this, if we're going to flip that one, so this should be placed here and this should be placed here. So by flipping, okay, and this part, if we're going to flip this one out here back like this, okay, so by flipping this one, this is the image of the first is the original and this is the image. If we're going to have this one, we have to find for the image. So what would be the image of this part? So first, if we're going to observe, this should be in my left side. Okay, this should be placed here. So if we're going to draw here in a box, so therefore we could say that the figure should be what? In what direction? So first, if we're going to flip this part, okay, because we have to take a look with the direction as well. And this one, if we're going to flip, so assuming this is image, so therefore the image of this one is going here, so therefore the image is here. And if we're going to flip this one, so since just flipping, so the image is like this. And if we're going to observe this one, so the image should be, since this is getting away, so therefore away also. Okay, so the direction of this one is forwarding to the center part, so therefore it should be the image is forwarding center part. Okay, so if we're going to look at here, which figures would have to complete the pattern? First, let's try to look at this part. Would it complete? First, it should be the image is going center part, or this sign or this line. So therefore, it could not be because the figure is going to not to the line. So going here like this. So no, this is not the figure that we're looking for. So this one, how about this part? It could be because the figure is going here. But let us look at here, this second figure. Would it constitute? No, because the figure here is going to the line. It should be this figure should have to reflect going to the line here. So this is not. How about this part? So this part, if we're going to look at here in this my figure, this is correct. And this one, this is correct. In this figure, this is correct. And this figure, this is correct. So how about this part? Let us assume that this is correct, but we have to eliminate first this one. So is this correct? No, because this is not the image, because it does not move. Alright, this is cross. How about this part? No, because it should be the heart, or the white heart should be placed under this figure. So this is not correct. So therefore, we could say that this figure will have to complete the image. Okay, again, this is just 1 and 2 are just image to each other. So the first is the original and the second one is the image. Alright, so let's have number 5. Number 5, so choose the image that completes the pattern. So if we're going to look at the figure, so we have here some logic here is that the external shape appears as the middle shape in the next frame. Okay, if we're going to observe this one, this figure, if this is our external frame, okay, if this is our external frame, this would appear as the shape of the next frame. Okay, the middle shape of the next frame, like this and like this, and this one and this one. Okay, so next is the middle shape disappears in the next frame. So the middle shape disappear. Okay, so wala. Let's go, wala. Okay, disappear in the next frame. And the external shape 2 steps forward, and the inner shape determines the external shape 2 steps forward. So we have here, if this is the inner shape, 2 steps forward would be the outer or the external shape. So 2 steps forward here, and this one. If this would be the internal, and this one. So therefore, the inner pentagon in the frame appeared as the external shape in the third frame. So this one is the pentagon, is the appear as the frame external in the third frame. If we're going to look at third frame, okay, this one, pentagon, and the first frame appeared as the external in the third frame. Okay, so if we're going to look back here, so what would be the figure of this part? So we can say that the figure, if we're going to move backward, because the external shape appears in the middle shape of the, so therefore this would be the middle. Alright, like this is the middle, so therefore it should be the middle, could be, and could be, and this one could not be, because it's stated that the external shape appears as the middle shape in the next frame. So the next frame could have like this. Okay. Next, the middle shape disappears in the next frame. So the middle shape, we don't have the middle shape yet. So therefore, so this one, the middle shape, so we could not choose this part because it would, the middle shape could not be, the middle shape disappears in the next part. So therefore, wala na po ito. Okay. So next we have here the inner we have here the inner shape determines the external shape 2 steps forward. So 2 steps forward. So if this is the inner shape 2 steps forward, so if we're going to move backward here, understood that the inner shape is circle. Okay, inner shape is circle. Okay, so therefore the inner shape is circle. Okay, so the inner shape is circle, and since the next shape is the external shape appears in the middle in the next frame, so therefore this is our next. So this one next to here is this part, and moving forward 2 steps would be the inner shape would be the external shape. So therefore we have to choose this part. Okay, so that's all about example number 5. So next we have here, try this. So choose the image that completes the pattern and give reasons. You have explanations. And this is number 1 and this is number 2. So good luck and God bless everyone. Thank you for tuning to this Kasaligan vlogs. God bless and don't forget to comment your answer.